Hello friends, today I will be talking about the Mars Orbiter mission which happened from 5th November 2013 to April 22nd by the Indian Space Research Organization ISRO. So let's begin. The Mars Orbiter mission MOM, unofficially termed as Mangalyaan, was a space probe orbiting Mars since 24 September 2014. It was launched on 5th November 2013 by the Indian Space Research Organization ISRO. It was India's first interplanetary mission and it made ISRO the fourth space agency to achieve Mars orbit, after Roscosmos, NASA and the European Space Agency. It made India the first Asian nation to reach the Martian orbit and the first nation in the world to do so on its maiden attempt. The Mars Orbiter mission probe lifted off from the first launch pad at Satish Dhawan Space Center, Andhra Pradesh, using a Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle PSLV rocket C-25 at 9:08 on 5th November 2013. The launch window was approximately 20 days long and started on 20th October 2013. The MOM probe spent about a month in Earth orbit, where it made a series of 7 apogee-raising orbital maneuvers before trans-Mars injection on 30th November 2013. After a 298-day transit to Mars, it was put into Mars orbit on 24 September 2014. On 23 November 2008, the first public acknowledgement of an uncrewed mission to Mars was announced by then ISRO Chairman G. Madhavan Nair. The MOM mission concept began with a feasibility study in 2010 by the Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology, after the launch of lunar satellite Chandrayaan-1 in 2008. Prime Minister Manmohan Singh approved the project on 3rd August 2012 after the Indian Space Research Organization completed Rs 125 crore $16 million of required studies for the orbiter. The total cost of the mission was approximately Rs 450 crore $73 million, making it the least expensive Mars mission to date. The low cost of the mission was ascribed by ISRO Chairman K. Radhakrishnan to various factors, including a modular approach, few ground tests, long working days, 18 to 20 hours for scientists. BBC's Jonathan Amos specified lower worker costs, homegrown technologies, simpler designs, and a significantly less complicated payload than NASA's Maven. The space agency had planned the launch on 20th October 2013, but was postponed to 5th November following the delay in ISRO's spacecraft tracking ships to take up predetermined positions due to poor weather in the Pacific Ocean. On 2nd October 2022, it was reported that the orbiter had irrecoverably lost communications with Earth after entering long eclipse period in April 2022, that it was not designed to survive. At the time of communications loss, it was unknown whether the probe had lost power or inadvertently realigned its Earth-facing antenna during automatic maneuvers. The main objectives are to develop the technologies required for designing, planning, management and operations of an interplanetary mission comprising the following major tasks. Orbit maneuvers to transfer the spacecraft from Earth's center orbit to heliocentric trajectory and finally capture into Martian orbit. Development of force models and algorithms for orbit and altitude computations and analysis. Navigation in all phases. Maintain the spacecraft in all phases of the mission, meeting power, communications, thermal and payload operation requirements. Incorporate autonomous features to handle contingency situations. The scientific objective deal with the following major aspects. Exploration of Mars surface features by studying the morphology, topography and mineralogy. Study the constituents of Martian atmosphere including methane and carbon dioxide using remote sensing techniques. Study the dynamics of the upper atmosphere of Mars, effects of solar wind and radiation and the escape of volatiles to outer space. The mission would also provide multiple opportunities to observe the Martian moon Phobos, and also offer an opportunity to identify and re-estimate the orbits of asteroids seen during the Martian transfer trajectory. In May-June 2015, Indian scientists got an opportunity to study the solar corona during the Mars conjunction when Earth and Mars are on the opposite sides of the Moon. During this period, the S-band waves emitted by MOM were transmitted through the solar corona that extended millions of km into space. This event helped scientists study the solar surface and regions where temperature changed abruptly. Communications are handled by two 230-watt TWTAs and two coherent transponders. The antenna consists of a low-gain antenna, a medium-gain antenna, and a high-gain antenna. The high-gain antenna system is based on a single 2.2 meter 7 feet 3 inch reflector illuminated by a feed at S-band. It is used to transmit and receive the telemetry, tracking, commanding and data to and from the Indian Deep Space Network. ISRO originally intended to launch MOM with its Geosynchronous Satellite Launch Vehicle (GSLV), but the GSLV failed twice in 2010 and still had issues with its cryogenic engine. Waiting for the new batch of rockets would have delayed the MOM for at least 3 years. So, ISRO opted to switch to the less powerful Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle (PSLV). In October 2022, ISRO admitted that it had lost the communication with MOM in April 2022 when it faced increasingly longer duration eclipses, including a 7-hour-long eclipse that it was not designed to withstand. ISRO said the spacecraft was likely out of propellant and not recoverable. In 2014, China referred to India's successful Mars orbiter mission as the pride of Asia. The Mars orbiter mission team won US-based National Space Society's 2015 Space Pioneer Award in the Science and Engineering category. National Space Society (NSS) said the award was given as the Indian agency successfully executed a Mars mission in its first attempt. And the spacecraft is in an elliptical orbit with a high apopsis where its high-resolution camera is taking full disk color imagery of Mars. Very few full disk images have ever been taken in the past, mostly on approach to the planet, as most imaging is done looking straight down in mapping mode. These images will aid planetary scientists. An illustration of the Mars orbiter mission spacecraft is featured on the reverse of the 2000 rupee currency note of India. ISRO plans to develop and launch a follow-up mission called Mars Orbiter Mission 2 (MOM-2) or Mangalyaan 2 with a greater scientific payload to Mars in 2024. The orbiter will use aerobraking to reduce apopsis of its initial orbit and reach an altitude more suitable for scientific observation. After that mission, there were a few inspirations taken into place, like the 2019 Hindi film Mission Mangal is loosely based on India's mission to Mars. A web series called Mission Over Mars is loosely based on India's Mars mission. Space MOMs released online in 2019 is based on India's Mars mission. Mission Mars, released in 2018, is a short film based on India's Mars mission.